Awesome.
Nice. Oh, we have 11. Wow, that is perfect.
Nice, perfect time to start the stream. 11 people here. We have assembled our squad.
Yes.
Okay, I shall redo the introduction since you guys are here. So if you can't hear us or you need the volumes adjusted, please let us know in the chat. Okay, we're testing this out as well. Good morning, Waisho. I see you just responded.
Hey, hi.
What's up? Hope you can hear us. Hi, I'm Jeremy. If you don't know, obviously you all know this is Chance. You all also know. So we're here today to do this stream to talk about the move cards mainly because our booster pack sales are going live, and you need to know what you're buying, and most importantly, the application of move cards in the game.
Yep.
So that's what we're here. That's what we're going to talk about. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. Alternatively, you can watch this. We're recording it. You can watch it, and then after that, you can throw your questions out at a later date.
Yep. Right. Yep. So as Jeremy mentioned, right, the sales happening in about 30 minutes.
Yep.
Our booster pack sales is happening in about 30 minutes. So just a little bit more, just to clarify with everybody what the booster pack sales is going to be like. In the total supply of this batch of booster pack is 8,400, and that means this 8,400 are the only circulating supply from now to when the season 1 starts.
Right.
So this season 1 start is even beyond our alpha gameplay. We are expecting our alpha gameplay to be ready around June period. June-August period that you're expecting our alpha gameplay, and but that doesn't mean it's start of the season.
Yeah.
That is the pre-season game, right?
Yeah.
So the 8,400 is the limited
allocated limited supply that will last all the way up until the first official season of NFT11's full game.
Right. Yep. So 8,400 of it. This is the limited supply, kind of like our legends, kind of like it. But we are also expecting the way we are seeing our booster pack sales is a seasonal thing. So every season, there will be a new seasonal booster pack for that season. Yeah, so that's how we are kind of looking at how we can release new booster packs that come with new updated move cards, maybe new partnership with other players and can use their images or whatnot.
Yep.
So that's how we are kind of looking at our booster pack. So this is our first booster pack sale, 8,400 from now till all the way till the season 1 start. And this week today's sale is the first week of it. And because I know we've all
been waiting.
We all want to start releasing our legends. For me, when we started releasing our legends batch sales back then, right? The momentum was so great.
Yeah.
Every week, the Discord.
Sell out.
Yeah. Then our Discord, we had to mute the Discord, and everybody was like, "Wow, react."
I remember the complaints coming in also.
Yeah, I know. Now that I think about it, I kind of miss that. I really miss that. And then when we pause our sales, so that's something that we had to do.
Yeah.
We had to pause our sales because we wanted to revamp our assets and everything. So after a while, it's been a couple of months since we actually started any kind of sales, anything new.
Right.
So really glad that we are starting with the booster packs. And that is kind of how we're going to kickstart our sales moving forward. Booster pack will be the one, and because we want to celebrate that, this week's sales for the booster pack is called the boosted booster pack sales.
Yes.
Boosted booster pack sales, okay?
Because it's the first ever of the booster pack sale, so we're gonna boost it. Yeah, I see some questions coming in already. How many different move cards will we have until the release of the game?
How many different move cards? Okay, we will get to that in the ending part of this discussion that we have, right? Okay. Just hold on for that.
Okay, so I think we want to talk about price, definitely, of this boosted first sales of booster packs. So it's because it's the first sales, and we haven't done sales in a long time. It's gonna be a full-on 10% discount of everything. So all 1050 booster packs are gonna be discounted. So you're gonna get them at 26.9 NFT11 tokens
for this week only.
Yeah, for this week only, right?
Another thing.
Supply, we talked about it already.
8.4 in total, but this week is only 1050.
Yeah.
Right. So on top of the celebratory booster pack sales, right? On top of the 10% discount, we also introducing a special 30 boosted pack, and that's why it's called the booster pack, because the booster pack, there are 30 booster packs that are boosted. So we have 30 boosted packs that's hidden inside this week boosted sale.
Yes.
We have 30 of them hidden there. Inside this 30, the lucky winners will have a very special NFT that is not released.
You can, if you want to get an idea of what this NFT is, you can go check out our newsletter, right? Subscribe to our Medium, please, and stay up to date with all of the content that we're releasing. But yeah, we teased it in yesterday's newsletter, so go ahead and check that out, and you will get an idea of what this special boosted super maximum boost additional NFT is. Okay.
Hey, Darth Vader,
Yo, what's up, Darth Vader?
This is a local Singaporean.
Yeah.
Maybe if someone can guess what that is, that you can guess on the chat, what that special 30 NFTs are.
Booster packs for the win.
Boosted.
You know what? Let's get into the questions.
Okay.
I think since there are a few.
How many different movement cards are there until the release of the game, right? This I feel like I want to keep it at the end before we keep it up between.
How many different kinds are? Okay. Yeah. See, Darth Vader busy spoiling what special boosted.
What is club measures?
What was that? I don't know.
I don't know what's club measures. Jeremy hinted it in the. Hey! So you say he spoiled, but actually you're the one who spoiled it.
Yo, it was so obvious, man. Like it was in the newsletter there, and then yeah, okay, never mind. You go back and watch my TLDR, and then you see what I did there.
Alright. It looks like the cat is out too big.
Yeah, don't.
Okay. There's only 14 people here.
Yeah, we keep it amongst the 14 of us is the inside clan. Okay, so yeah. Okay. You will answer Antoniel online Twitch. My God, your name. My dyslexia is kicking up. Okay, you will answer that later, right?
Yeah, about the different movement card. Okay, when will the signature letters be released? I'm assuming signature cards,
move cards,
or
right?
signature booster packs. Is it?
Yeah.
If that's the question, well, I mean, we are really. Okay, we will release our move cards slightly earlier than our signature cards, because we are also working with David James, to kind of confirm what the CC signature cards is, and also more importantly is what does that signature card does.
Yeah.
For like how does it boost your player or whatnot? Correct. And because we said we are going through a legend revamp, our player revamp, right?
That's
the
right.
player revamp is not only on the outlook of the player.
Yeah.
Our player revamp comes with all the different traits, personality. We have now 10 different stats, and these 10 different stats they are very dynamic. And the signature card that David James will have, right? It has to kind of also, we want it to be logical. We want like it to kind of synergize with David James, and that's why.
One of the main things is we want him to love it also,
yes,
because
exactly.
It's his signature move card, and with all ultimates that are coming on board NFT, we want them to feel this connection to these cards, have a connection to their NFTs, be a part of the team. As we mentioned before, it's not just about getting some famous people to slap their faces on the posters behind us, even though that's exactly what we did. But it's not just that, they are now part of the team, they are now part of that game development. And so, I think that's what is really important.
Yeah, just to add on a little bit about the signature cards also, and our ultimate partnership with our partners like David James. Right, what we want is we've always been saying that we want to blur the lines between metaverse and reality, right? And then we kind of want people who own and who have this David James NFT, or when David James enter NFT11 metaverse, right? His persona and his real person come together, and you as a player of NFT11, right, will get to know David James more intimately, because of the move cards that he chooses. The move cards that we are going to come for David James is quite interesting, and it's really based on his personality. His personality.
Him.
Yeah, it's not going to be a randomo, signature card.
Yep.
Yeah, so we kind of digress a little bit, but
Yeah, but that's the idea of when signature cards will be out. So given that his NFT is going to drop most likely somewhere around June, together with our alpha gameplay, I'd say signature moves will come out around that time as well. Right. Let's see, what other questions do we have?
Is it gonna be possible to unlink the move card from a player and link it to another?
Yes.
Yes. If it's a normal move card, yeah, it is interchangeable. But keep in mind that move cards come with charges. So they come with 5 charges. If you can shift the card even though there are zero charges, but then it essentially means that
it won't work.
It won't work, but you can. I believe the linking thing comes with signature cards. So signature cards they don't have they are kind of bounded to the player. Once you attach it, it's bounded to the player. And as of now, we are saying one signature card attached per player. So those are going to be a little bit more balanced that way. Yeah, and then we also have thought that there are going to be ways that you can unbind the signature cards, but it's using either a special NFT or using our in-game currency that we mentioned.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us about the card for trainers.
The cards for trainers.
What do you mean by this? Can you clarify this question? The cards for trainers.
You mean like cards that can train you?
Not sure.
Let's see what Antonio has to say. Antonio. The guy that you said that triggered your dyslexia.
Yeah, very hard to pronounce his name. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about some other stuff on the move cards while we wait for the different phrasings of questions. Okay, so I think you already know this, but move cards are going to carry 5 charges, right? We can replenish these charges based on an in-game currency, which we are also designing along with the game. That's for the 5 charges. The move cards, you have up to 3 move cards that you can attach to players. The latest news that we have about this is that there will be 3 move cards that you can essentially attach to your manager persona, which is you in-game, which is kind of bound to the club that you are managing. So you're gonna have like these special kind of move cards that you can attach to the manager yourself in that sense, so that it affects certain things about your team, obviously, stuff like morale. So yeah, I think that's the latest development that we have.
We could see the move cards. Okay, so there are many different kind of move cards, right? There is the normal move card that we've always been talking about, like where you can attach it to the players. And just now what Jeremy you kind of talked about was the cards that can be applied to the managers, right? The cards that can be applied to the managers is kind of like an umbrella card that will affect the whole club. Yep. So let's say for example, there can be a card that I think we have some examples. So it's called there's one called Buzz Killer, right? So we have an example of a card called Buzz. The name of the card is called Buzz Killer, right? The category of this card is a defense card, right? So we have different kind of categories. We have our defense card, we have our utility cards, and then we have our attack cards. So these are the 3 categories. Alright, and then there is and then the next thing is called perk. So the perk is this move card, right, can either be active or passive. Alright, so passive, I'll talk about passive move cards. So passive move cards are cards that you attach. Mainly it should be a manager kind of move card because it's passive.
Yep.
It just when you want to attach a move card, it will affect it will have an effect on the entire game on itself.
Yep.
Right, that's a passive one. And the active cards are cards that during the trigger events you will play them. You will use them. So those are the active cards, right? Yep. So the one that I was mentioning, the Buzz Killer, is a defense card. It's an active defense card, and it's for the manager. So now we know that this is the manager card. It's an overall blanket kind of a card. And
what this card does is that it increases the number of fouls. So wait, you say it's a defensive, is it?
It's a defensive card, yes.
It's a defensive card that increases the number of
fouls. So why do you think increasing the number of fouls would be a defensive thing?
So are you increasing the fouls on your opponent's team or increasing the fouls on your team?
You increase the fouls on our opponent's team.
Yeah, okay, then that will make sense.
Why do you think it makes sense?
If it's a defense,
is it? The defense card. How does it help your team?
Because you are, if more fouls happen in the defense line, then you like against you, then you're successfully defending.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. If attackers make more fouls on you, right, they will make it in your defense line.
Correct.
So now you gain that position, you gain the free kicks from that defensive position, which is why it's a defense.
Exactly. So that's kind of so we kind of have we also think of how our move cards have different synergy with other kind of move cards. What kind of move cards are good against what kind of strategy? What kind of move cards are bad against certain kind of strategy? So for example, the bus killer card that we mentioned, right, was to increase the number of fouls, right, so that we can stop attackers. We can successfully stop attackers, right, from doing continuing their set plays, right. So what is this good against? This is good against counter attack formations, because counter attack, when they counter attack, their chances of scoring is definitely higher, because it's a counter attack. Your defensive line is quite weak, so you need to be more aggressive, right? And then this aggressor, this bus kill, is a very good counter against counter attack. But it's bad against a strategy that is done in set pieces. Because if it is set pieces, your team is, they know they have their position. So you can't really collect a lot of fouls from
Right. Yeah.
So that this
it's not going to be as useful.
Yeah, it's not going to be as useful, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is one example of a move card that we are working on. There's going to be a lot later. We will get down in a little more into it. But let's see.
And this is one of the fundamental things why I like this game so much, because of that layer of strategy. You see, because this whole game is going to take place on the blockchain, because you're going to be able to know who you're up against during matches, right? You're going to be able to get the history of this person's play style and the tactics that they use, and you're going into the game with a game plan in mind. Of course, if you don't have a game plan, then by all means just go in and have fun. But you see that layer of strategy is extremely important, and that's something that people do, managers actually do with football teams, right? I remember I was speaking to David James about this, and he was talking about how he would before every match have like a notebook filled with all the strikers, and how, like, if this dude comes in from the left, he's most likely gonna take it on his left foot, or he's gonna cross it over to this guy. So he has this entire game plan, and what to watch out for as a goalkeeper waiting there for that save.
His homework, right?
Yeah, he's done his homework, right? And this is the kind of layers of strategy that we want to introduce to the game as well, because that's what's going to make it interesting. Many questions. Let's go.
Can we approve the booster pack minting now? I'd say I can check. I mean, if it's available to approve, then you should be able to approve, because there's no other prior contracts for this. So
it is a new contract. You could try. We're not quite sure. We're not online with the tech team now, because we're
online here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, maybe one of our team members on the stream can check with the tech team and let us know what time exactly we're gonna be able to approve that contract.
I am pretty sure it can be approved today. I think
I think should be able to. Yeah, and the sale's happening in 20 minutes anyway.
No questions is already.
Okay, Daryl Quack, steady. That's the way, man.
If you're ready, then maybe you can try and see whether you can approve it.
Or Darth Vader can help us test also.
Hi Jonas. So we have the movement and signature cards. Will other types of cards be released? We have the movement and will other types of cards be released? I don't think so. I mean, the move cards and the signature move cards already
are two very big categories of
cards.
The card strategy, the layer of card strategy involved in this game. So it's quite heavy already. In terms of whether or not there will be any other different kinds of cards, I mean, as the game moves on, as it expands, perhaps when we have different facilities, there could be cards associated with those facilities.
Maybe trading grounds.
Yeah, something like that. But in terms of the core gameplay and where move cards come in, that whole trigger event and all that, we're sticking with move cards and signature cards, right? Because we gotta balance that out, right?
I mean, even move cards themselves already have different types, really, you know. So the permutation is a lot.
Got a question from.
Hey, hi, Rodijin.
Yeah, he's
The raiding.
raiding with a party of one. Hey, what's this raiding feature? I don't know. I'm super noob and new to Twitch. I saw the raid function also. No idea what it does. But okay, I'll find out soon enough. I want to answer this question from Menko86. It's not really about move cards, but it's about roadmap and whether or not we are expected to have our stadium launch between April and May. Actually, in yesterday's newsletter, we talked about the third cycle of alpha testing for the stadium being done. Everything's smooth sailing so far. So if it all checks out, we finalize the UI, we touch up on everything, we should be seeing the stadium public sales go live, and we should be able to start the staking with a beta launch of the stadium, which of course will include a lot more people. People such as beta launch will pretty much be the public launch already.
Menko is our Italian from our Italian community. You are not wrong.
Right? He also asked, have you already found Ultimate number 2? Yes, and we can't say anything though. Still in talks. Maybe 2, 3, 4. Okay.
But the focus is on giving the gameplay, the June our alpha gameplay out. That is the main focus. You know, partnership stuff will come in naturally once our gameplay is out. We all know that. Everybody knows that, and we are all working very, very, very hard towards that.
And you can also see how our partnerships recently have picked up. We are actively reaching out every week. I hope to write about a new partnership in the newsletter. So far so good. Keeping up that trend.
And by the way, Jonas, for our Philippine representative, he has said that we can start approving the contract now. We are 15 minutes away from the sale. Just to remind everybody here who is listening, each manager can each wallet can win up to 11
booster packs
in one batch. So it's quite similar to how our legend sales were being made. That time was 1, but now it's 11. So if we kind of really think about it, there's only there's only a fixed number of people that can buy. Also, just kind of be fast if you guys really want it. Also, do take note that just now we mentioned about the booster pack, how the move cards are and what kind of move cards. They are still in development. So our booster packs, when you buy them now, they are an NFT. You gotta wait a little bit more for it to be open, for it to be ready to be open.
It won't be long. We understand the wait. It's a little annoying to get an NFT that packages something and you want to see what's inside that package. I completely understand that. I myself feel the same way, but we want to make sure that we flesh out everything about the move cards before we throw them out there. We don't want to have to revamp move cards or any other hassle like that. So slow and steady wins the race, right? So bear with us, right? It is in development. We will definitely be releasing that really, really soon.
Rikurti, hello. Tell us about the difference of the move cards mechanics between alpha and official gameplay. Okay.
Can I answer this one? Yeah. So our alpha gameplay is just going to give you a very basic feel of how the move cards function when they come in, right? Based on that gameplay. You will not be attaching any of these NFT move cards into the alpha gameplay. That's not going to happen. Just like how you're not going to be using any legends, any normal players, or any ultimate players in the alpha gameplay. No NFTs are going to be connected just yet. Remember, this is just the alpha gameplay demo, right? So no NFT integration into it yet. We don't want you guys to be testing the fundamentals of the game and burning your NFTs or move cards or using up your move cards. That's not very healthy either.
So since we are on the topic of alpha gameplay, right? So the things that we can expect for alpha gameplay, maybe we are starting off with a few mini games kind of stuff, right? That will eventually be part of the actual game. So that's how we are kind of releasing our gameplay. The move cards, as Jeremy, as you mentioned earlier, they are not going to be NFTs, but they will still we will still integrate the move card mechanics into the gameplay, so that we all of us, you guys and us, we can really feel what is it going to be like, and we don't want to use your NFTs to feel it,
So it's going to be stuff that you already have in the alpha gameplay.
Yes.
So don't worry about that.
Yep. All right.
We haven't answered that guy's question.
Which,
or it's still not yet.
The mechanic between
Just now Antonio's question.
Oh yeah, I mean we kind of did say a little bit. Okay, we did.
I mean we started talking about the different types of move cards. Actually, let's get back into this.
Okay.
Shall we?
Okay.
Yeah. So 3 types of different move cards. In case you don't know, utility, attack, and defense. Right.
So just now we did mention the buzzkill, right? Buzzkill is you increase the number of files that you make, in that sense, right?
You increase the number of files that you make in order to successfully defend.
Yes, right. Yep. And then there is another one. This is the category under utility. Okay, the utility card is the active card. The card name is called Taunt. And what it does, it increases opponent's number of files. So that's another. It's quite. You see, we have one, and then we can have always the counter, and that's how we can have a lot of different permutations of move card. As of now, based on our list, right, I'm looking at least we have 60 different types of move cards. There's 60 different types of move card. It is excluding that each move card will have different tiers. So let's say, for example, we talk about buzzkill. Buzzkiller card. There is your gold tier, silver tier, and bronze tier. So imagine we already have 60 different types, and then each of it has a permutation of 3. So there's really a wide array of move cards that you can expect in your booster pack.
And collectibles.
And yes, collectibles.
Yeah.
Right. So I can go through some of the more generic move cards that you can expect.
Okay, before Chance gets into that, I just want to throw it out to the chat. Any trading card game fans out there? One of the inspirations for move cards was used to play this game called WWE Raw Deal, which was a wrestling trading collectible card game. Right, we used to play it back in school.
Full Lita deck.
Mine was a full Chris Benoit because I was a big Chris Benoit fan. Rest in peace, Chris Benoit. That was really the inspiration. So I'm wondering whether anybody else has some of that experience. We have a question.
Yes, from Ricardi. Tell us about the active and passive move card. Okay, so I think we kind of talked about it earlier, but so there are two different kinds of move cards. There's your active cards and your passive cards. Why? So active cards are move cards that when you attach to a player during the match itself, there will be when the trigger events happen, you will be able to use that move card as an action. Okay. Yeah. To further give you guys more context, right? When the match starts, right? Let's say a match starts for 11 minutes, right? Within 11 minutes, there's X number of trigger events that will happen. This number of trigger events that happen will be split between AI controlled or human controlled. Alright, and then if it's a human controlled event, means that the ball, based on the position of the ball, right, you will have a few choices of what you want to do with that ball. There will be 3 choices that come out. The default 3 based on the position would be usually pass, dribble, or cross or wing. If you are closer to the goalpost, then the 3 choices will be pass, dribble, or shoot. Those will be the default actions that you do. What active move card do is that when you attach this move card to the player, the active move card will replace one of that default move. Yeah. Right. So that is how active move cards are used. So when a trigger event happens, instead of your default pass, now you will have your move card move. And then if that move card move is a pass move card, then you will be a more boosted pass move card or more special pass move card. That's how active one works. Passive move cards are, as you say, it's passive. Once you attach to the player, there are passive cards that are like, okay, boost your long shot stats by 10% for this match. So that's passive.
Passive.
Right? Those are for the individuals one, and then we're talking about managers move card. So manager move cards are usually more passive.
I mean, there could still be active manager move cards where certain conditions appear during the match.
Yeah.
So
then you can choose whether you want to use that move card at that point of time. Yeah. For example, like the Bus Killer or for example the Taunt. Right, it's an active card. Right. And then you do want to be taunting everybody for the whole match. You want to be specific of when you want to taunt, right? Yep. So that's why it's an active card. So so that's the active card, and the passive cards are if manager's passive card will usually overlap the entire club more on the strategy. So for example, there could be move cards for the manager that if you choose all-out attack strategy, then there can be a move card that exists that increases that all-out strategy percentage. Right. Like if you choose all-out strategy, your attacking, your forwards get plus 10 stats on their power, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
So that's active and passive move cards.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. How will the move cards work if we have a match with the absent player? So it's actually pretty straightforward, because remember the choices that happen during these trigger events are either human or AI. So there's already an AI that will take care of that function. If the human is absent, right, if you're playing against just the computer, then the computer will make the best decision to select whatever move cards that the person has already attached to his players. Maybe he just overslept and missed the match, or maybe this guy doesn't want to use any move cards at all, and he's just going to revert it to the three basic options, to pass, shoot, or cross, something like that. And so the AI will just select the best possible combination based on whatever strategies you have set, the stats of your players, and all those things. So it's not going to affect. Of course, you're at an advantage if the person doesn't show up for the match, if the manager isn't there to manage this match. So
I agree. I think I agree. It's a fantastic question, because this is how we want to show. Okay, like let's say for example, it's about resource management, right? It's all about resource management. If you know that your team, you know your fixture, you know who you're going to be up against, right? And we don't expect everybody to be playing to be on the screen 24/7. We want it to be a more chill, relaxed kind of environment, yet competitive at the same time. You are not bounded to your computer.
It's not like you're forced to.
Right. So if let's say you already know your fixtures and you know your own schedule, your own real life schedule, and then you know your NFT11 schedule, you
No, NFT11 is life. Okay.
It's my life.
Let's go.
Yeah. So based on those data that you know about yourself, you will know which match are worth putting active move cards.
Yeah.
Then you know that you will be playing the game. Then you put active move cards. Right. Then you know that you will be able to use it. If you are not going to be online, and then you put the active move cards, then it's not a very smart move.
Yeah, because then you're gonna burn. The AI is gonna burn it for you.
AI is gonna burn it for you,
or use it for you.
Use it for you. Alternatively, if I was a manager that I know that I'm not going to be around for this particular match,
right,
and I still feel that I need to boost my team, then I will attach more passive move cards onto my team.
Right.
So that it's more passive, it's more overall.
Right.
So that will be the different strategy. It's not going to be. So that's how we see the game dynamics is going to be like.
Layers.
Yeah. Some cards can be. Yeah, exactly. Ruben Waishua is there. Yeah, very very integral in our game design. Waishua.
Yep.
Very very integral.
In fact, some of I believe Bus Killer was Waishua's creation, right?
Taunt was also a Waishua's
creation.
Yeah.
So Waishua is actively helping us with the game design development of these move cards as well.
5 minutes,
Shout
guys.
out to him. 5 minutes to sales?
5 minutes to sales.
Nice.
Yeah, actually I think...
Have we covered most of what we want to talk about?
Yeah, move card comes with 5 charges, each charge used after every match, after all 5 agents are exhausted. Yep. So, now we think about it, right? We mentioned that we have about around 60 different types of move cards already. And each type of move card has already 3 different permutations because of the different tiers. So you can imagine how many variations of move cards that you all can expect. And one booster pack only comes with 5. So,
Yep. Do the math. We have another question from Ricurti. A lot of doubts about those events during matches. Okay, the match will stop to take the decision during the events. That's true. Yeah, there's going to be a portion of time, probably 5 to 6 seconds for the player to decide what he's going to do. If that time is too short or too long, we will adjust it accordingly. And if how many events we'll have during one match. Okay, so the number of events is not going to be standard.
Yes, it's not going to be standard.
Number of events is largely dependent on your style of play versus your opponent's style of play.
Formation, strategy, these are the things that will affect the number of events that happen.
Yeah, that will allow these number of events to happen.
So just logically, right? If you have a lot of midfielders, a lot of attackers and midfielders, it is natural that your team will have more scoring opportunities.
Yeah.
Right, because you are heavier there.
Heavier on attack.
Yeah, your midfield has more opportunity to set up plays.
Correct.
Right, so that increases the number of events.
Yeah.
If let's say now your team is a full defense team, you're just gonna lay back and see that, and then my team is also a full defense team.
Yeah.
Then obviously there's not gonna be much events happening. No one's aggressive. Right, so that's how events are being generated in a sense. Yeah. And obviously it's also based on ball possession as well. Can I have one? Yes, 3 minutes.
Ken Darth Vader, you come down to our office and formally introduce yourself.
I will take the black one. Guys, it's reversible.
It's reversible, dudes.
Look at that. Okay, let me just change. Let me just change now.
Yeah, it's reversible.
It's a fashion show now.
Now it's 2 yellows here.
Now we are B1 and B2.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Right. I don't think we have completely answered the question. We'll stop. The matches will stop to take a decision. Yes. Each trigger event will have a time limit, a very short time limit.
Yeah.
Right. So if the time limit is not met, the AI will choose one for you. And yes, how long does it take to? Okay. How long of time? I think what we are looking at is definitely less than 10 seconds. Less than 10 seconds for you to make the decision. If just how many events? Okay, we answered that. Same number of events for both players? No, I think we kind of answered that as well, right? That is based on the calculation of both team stats to generate the number of events for that particular game, for that particular match. I also want to kind of to tell you guys that when it comes to NFT11, when the game match, how the algorithm works, right? I would say it's kind of like it's luck in a way.
I mean, every game design has elements
some
of luck in it. It's inevitable.
Yeah. So how we see, we're always when the move card comes in, right? We're always trying to see whether you'll be out of balance or not. So there's a very fine line in that in tweaking those numbers or starting out with the baseline of those numbers. That being said, move cards will not be the thing that will definitely win you games. It's not. That's what we are trying our very hardest to be able to achieve. That move cards are not definitely win you game. It doesn't. It increases the chance, the percentages of certain events to be successful.
Yep.
But it does not mean that you will successfully win the game. You can perform many successful passes, but without a move card. If you have a lot of move card that increases the number of passes in the game, you might not score as well. So it's a probability game. Ultimately, it's a probability game. But what you do as a manager is to increase the chance of what you want your team to do. That is what we want to set outside.
And likewise, that's the reason why we have to very intricately balance and take our time with move cards, because if something affects the percentage too much, then it's going to be OP, and then the entire game is now who has the best move cards, who has the best signature cards, and that's basically what NFT11 will become. So finding that balance, that's important, and it is a layer of strategy, but it is not the strategy to use. So
yeah, I think Whiteshaw kind of mentioned what I mentioned earlier. Move cards they do make a difference.
Yeah,
they do
for sure.
Definitely. Otherwise, what's the point?
What's the point of the move cards? Right?
Yeah, but as he said, it won't make much difference if the team is Yeah, so it's a back and forth thing, I feel it's a back and forth thing. Like you can never say that you are better than me in scissors paper stone kind of thing, you know.
And that's also another thing. That's also part of the move card mechanics. I actually wrote about this, but I forgot.
Wait, sales live already, by the way, 1 minute already. It's 6:01 now.
Only chance you can access the move card Medium article.
Of course.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so this layer of strategy behind the move cards, it banks on the principle of not knowing what your opponent is going to play. You may have a rough idea, you know, given that you have watched this guy, you have seen his games, you have done your homework and all of that. You can anticipate what he is going to do, or most likely what he is going to play, but it is still like scissors paper stone. Nobody really knows what you're gonna throw out there, and there's actually a term to describe this whole mechanic of gameplay. And
which one?
I completely forgot about it. Move cards. Scroll down.
Oh, okay. There's a specific move card newsletter that we
not
newsletter. The Medium article,
Yeah,
right?
Medium article.
Yeah. Sorry guys, where is it? Home.
Yeah, you just
This.
scroll down.
Yeah, this. Now guys, have you gotten your booster packs? Yeah, computer wise so
Code
slow.
minting is smooth and no hiccups. Yeah.
This one, move cards in NFT11.
Can we
This was
access
done on February 2nd.
Yeah. So I mean, this was like early stages of conceptualizing the move cards and the design behind it. Can you go all the way up?
All the way up?
Yeah.
Goose Spew?
Yeah, okay, so it was based, the game design here is based off this strategy card game called Goof Spiel. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. It sounds German. I'm not sure. It's basically, this one is even more heavy on strategy than, you know, what we're trying to do here. This one is really what they call psychological jujitsu. And
Psychological Jiu-Jitsu.
yes, legit, because you're playing mind games with your opponents, right? And NFT11 is gonna have that level of it. You know, if your manager will always use a certain set of move cards, are you gonna use that move cards in the final match, or are you gonna swap that strategy so that you completely throw your opponent off? So there's a lot of that psychological battle that goes on with this layer of strategy, and this is called multi-stage simultaneous move of game theory. That's the principal design behind the move cards, because this is what we want to introduce, this layer of psychological battle, or not knowing what your opponent has in store for you, but at the same time you're playing things to defend against that opponent. You're preparing a deck in that sense that you're going to use to compete against this guy. And yeah, that's the kind of mechanics and logic behind the game.
What do you call multi-stage though?
Multi-stage because there are you use multiple stages to fight on this battle. So first round, you know, I put out this card,
Right.
then now you put out your card. But it's multi-stage also because it's not I play first, then you put something down to counter me.
Okay.
Right? It's same time. You prepare this card, I prepare this card, we put it down.
Time.
So there are multiple stages to this, and that's where the word simultaneous comes in. Multi-stage simultaneous move of game theory. And that's the design behind it and how it works.
That works perfectly in how we are envisioning how our game engine is going to be like.
Exactly.
Because in NFT11, in the events, right, there are also multi-stage of events. There's your trigger event 1, then after trigger event 2 and trigger event 3. So these trigger events, they all add up together to become a combo.
Correct.
Right, and then it is the defender's choice to see whether they can break your combo or not. And they are both selecting the move card at the same time. Because every time when an attacker has a trigger event, naturally the defender would have an event as well as the defensive event. So when we talk about events, right, the attackers are always the one that are triggering the events. The one that holds the ball possession is always the one that are the attackers. They are the one that are creating the events. and defenders will. Yeah, so I think it draws in really, really nicely.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, Rikati. This comment here, right? Yeah, because if you have multiple events that are happening in the game and then it becomes this like every few seconds, then you just have to stop and not watch the gameplay. It loses the essence of football. So I completely understand where you're coming from. And yes, the amount of trigger events that will happen will be kept to, I wouldn't say kept to a minimum, but a reasonable number such that it doesn't affect the gameplay experience, especially the gameplay experience of a football manager strategy game. So yeah, we definitely don't want that.
Yeah.
In fact, part of the focus in-group discussions and all that when we are designing games, it's about letting the person play the game for a while and then coming back and then asking him, hey, so was that a football experience for you? Did that feel football-y enough, or was it just messy and or something that you didn't really enjoy playing, because it was so different? So yeah, it's all about balancing. That's going to take time as we develop all of that. Oh, what's this? 27, 41. Are these your
total numbers? No, these are the
booster pack numbers, right?
It looks like sales are going quite smoothly.
Nice. Got 6 packs. Hope I get lucky.
Who got 6 pack? I only got 1 pack.
Same. Rodrin is yeah. Nice. I hope you get lucky too.
Your first booster pack is number 61.
Where's the 69 booster pack?
I wonder if anybody got the booster pack.
Boosted? Oh yeah. Anyone got lucky? Booster pack?
Do you all know how a booster?
Actually, I don't think anybody knows how it looks like.
Yeah, they do know. They don't know. I think it was done on purpose. Yes, nobody knows what a booster pack looks like. So ask around.
See who gets the booster pack.
Yeah.
We should see it flooding in the chats.
Is this the booster pack? Alright. Anyway, we've been sales are going on. I think we kind of covered.
We'll pass our stream time.
Yeah, we wanted to make this like a 15 minutes kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, like just but I'm having fun. Talking to you guys. Hey, thanks so much for joining us, all of you here.
Thanks for the questions.
And the questions, awesome questions, awesome community, guys. If only we could do this a bit later, and then I think we might have a bit more members. We'll try. I mean, if you like streams like this and discussions like this, we'll try to work something in at a slightly later timing
and a more regular basis also.
On a more regular basis, I definitely want to do more podcasts with many different people. If you were reading last week's newsletter, you would know that we're partnering up with Altura. And I think I'm inviting guests from Altura to do a podcast with me so that we can dive into smart NFTs and talk about the space. And I think that's going to be pretty interesting. So yeah, we might do that as a live or pre-recorded podcast. I'm still deciding. But yeah, hopefully we'll get that out of the way as well. So I think we have come to the end of our stream. So yeah, we're at the end of our stream.
First of many.
First of many streams. In fact, this is my first ever time. I believe it's your first ever time on Twitch, right? I mean, I YouTube a bit, but I've never Twitch streamed before.
Thanks for letting us be your guinea pigs.
Yeah, pretty awesome stream. I like it. I might do this more often.
I love the questions. I really love the questions.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you soon. Crack open a cold one. We actually wanted to put beers here, but we were afraid that Twitch might ban us. I don't know the regulations about. I know some streamers, because they reveal too much and then they get banned because of that. So we didn't want to play around with it. But go ahead, crack open a cold one, and we'll see you all soon. I guess.
Because the last question.
Oh, last question.
Because it will be interesting to know how Ultra will help us.
Yes, exactly. Right, which is why I want to have this podcast also, so that they can get into their cool, smart NFT tech, and we can see how we're gonna integrate that as well.
Yep.
All right, guys.
What a sweet NFT down jacket! I know. I've been eyeing on it.
Soon, my friend. Soon.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. We will see y'all when we see y'all.